the emergence of the public blockchain was so exciting to all of us because he said, this is finally the time where power gets democratized. And I must say, whether it was the internet, whether it was email, whether it was e-commerce, whether it was digital devices, mobile devices, every one of those technologies, though different from each other, has had this common feature that they are democratizing in nature. That means I get to talk on a mobile device regardless of whether I'm very rich or very poor. I still get to make the same phone call at the same locations. Internet connectivity has become affordable to all segments of the economy, and the richer people don't get any significantly superior internet than an extremely poor person. So the democratizing nature of all these technologies is what has caused their widespread use. And here comes the public blockchain, which says not just will we be democratic, we will also remove the need for central authority, for the regulator, for there to be a trusted third party who is authenticating what you're doing. Basically, the power is now yours. So this is what was very exciting on day one, and this is why the people who got into Bitcoin in the earliest, I'm not referring to those who got in purely for speculation, but those who got in at a philosophical alignment level, chose the public blockchain architecture and cryptocurrency. But when you want to buy Bitcoin or any other digital asset, where do you go? You could buy it from a friend, but where did the friend get it from? This led to the emergence of what you could call exchanges, which either ran in an over-the-counter OTC model or in an order book model. So Zebpay, by the way, operates in both of those models. Now the problem is that while the public blockchain made the promise of decentralizing, these exchanges themselves who were helping you acquire these assets became the central figures. Now this is not the same as a bank, because the bank has just too much power over you. Exchanges have very little power, but they do have some role, right? What if you could not just decentralize the money, you could not just decentralize the computing, you could decentralize the exchange. This is the concept of a DEX, or a decentralized exchange. Now while this sounds really good, it has not taken off in as large a way so far as we would like, or as we predict it will at some stage. In my rough calculations, the total number of asset swaps or exchange transactions that are happening on DEXs, which is decentralized exchanges, as opposed to centralized exchanges, today is in the ratio of 1:1000. So for every million that you're transacting on a DEX, you're transacting a billion on a centralized exchange. That sounds like DEX is a non-starter. Quite the contrary, everything starts from zero. Today Zebpay is a centralized exchange, but we do believe that the future of exchanges is decentralized. Now, one should know that this classification of centralized versus decentralized may not be, as in it's oversimplistic. So even some of the famous named decentralized exchange platforms that we think of today are not truly decentralized. There are certain aspects that are decentralized. So for instance, could you trade right from your wallet? That sounds like it might be quite decentralized. Could you decide which assets should be listed for transaction on an exchange? Now that is truly decentralized. But if you are to transfer your asset to a smart contract or to the wallet of an address, and from there a wallet of an exchange, and from there it becomes decentralized, then it is partially decentralized. So we have these various shades of gray when it comes to decentralization, and it's not as if making a truly decentralized exchange is difficult. It is that it requires the participants to become suave, capable, and willing to play a big role in matching these transactions and writing them on the underlying blockchain. In my opinion, the future of exchanges is decentralized. Furthermore, it is my opinion that we may never truly see the emergence, or let's say the acceptance of a completely 100% decentralized exchange. That I think is very far in the future. But decentralized components of what the exchange does, A, it's already happening, and B, I think that that movement will continue. There will come a time shortly where I believe that this ratio of 1:1000 will move to 1:100. I think that's going to happen overnight. But then when it starts looking like 1:10, that means for every one transaction that's happening, every 10 transactions that's happening on a centralized exchange, there is one transaction that is happening on a decentralized exchange. I think that that is when we could start writing the obituaries of the centralized exchanges. Zebpay knows this, Zebpay likes this, Zebpay is ready for this. We can launch a DEX today, except that we believe that customers are taking a little longer to accept the better way of transacting than the centralized exchanges. We are a centralized exchange today, but when they show that propensity, we will be ready.